Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Isaac Thomson, featherweight, who is fighting in LFA. Hello, Isaac. How are you?
Good man, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Isaac, I
Nice.
just saw that you have a fight scheduled or on LFA 161. Your opponent will be Alex Artaega, who is 4-1. So please tell me, what do you know about this opponent and how do you want to finish this fight?
So I don't usually like to do too much like watching of like my opponent's fights and all that, but from what I've seen, looks like he prefers to go to the ground a lot. He has a couple combos that he likes to throw when he's standing, but I feel like he prefers to go to the ground. I'm looking just to try and keep it standing. If I go to the ground, I feel more than confident to go to the ground with him. I feel like I'm better than this guy in every aspect of MMA. So, yeah.
And in the beginning of the year, we were really busy because you have two fights in like 4 weeks. So I believe that it will be good to add another fight in this half a year.
Yeah, 100%. Like I like to stay busy. I feel like if I stay out for too long, I get a little bit of cobwebs, So I like to just keep competing as much as possible.
And I think in these two performances this year, you showed a lot of skills, different skills, because you dominated Gary Conkle on your LFA fight, and then
Mhm.
you knocked out Ben Hollier, who I believe is really solid fighter overall.
Yep.
So this time maybe you will show something another.
Yeah. I'm looking for another finish for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get some fancy stuff going now just to get a little highlight for this next fight. But yeah, definitely another finish looking.
And overall, would you be interested in taking LFA title in a few fights?
Yeah, 100%. Getting that title would be very important. I feel like for my journey to get to the UFC, I feel like getting the title will just make it a lot easier to get into the UFC.
Yes, the title in LFA it's like opening the door to the UFC
100%.
especially.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's rarely the champion is defending the title because usually he's go straight to the
yeah,
UFC.
yeah, yeah. It's a great opportunity for sure.
And in your last fight, you fought for the other promotion, and was it a one and done fight in other promotion? You are right now currently signed only in LFA.
Yeah, yeah. So that was just like a quick like turnaround, one and done fight. I'm gonna be with LFA for my next three fights.
And please tell me about your beginnings in the sport because you are from the Australia, but you are
Mhm.
training right now in Team Alpha Male in California. So
Yeah.
please tell me about your beginnings in Australia and why do you decided to go to the USA and especially to this camp?
Okay. So long story short, I started martial arts when I was 8. My parents got me in to do some boxing, and where we trained, I had boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, karate, so the whole lot of them. And my parents jumped into it too, so we all like did it as a family, doing martial arts as a family growing up. When I hit around 14, I went to Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, and I came over to do some wrestling at Team Alpha Male. And that's how I kind of get my foot in the door with Team Alpha Male. Shooting over to a couple years later, my buddy Alex, he's in the UFC. He came over to Miami um, to come train me, do some wrestling with me, and then I kind of just decided I needed to shoot over here, come back, and now I haven't left.
And who is your main training partner in Alpha Male?
Um, Man, we have the one thing I do like about Alpha Male is we have so many training partners around my weight class. So either 35s, 45s, or 55s. I don't really have one like set training partner where back home I feel like one gym would have like one super good guy, the next gym would have one super good guy. here we have just like such a variety, and I feel so lucky just having such a variety of training partners. It's hard to say just having like one, you know.
Yes, but in Alpha Male, they created so many great fighters from the lower
100%.
weight classes. It's
100%.
even hard to count because it was
Yeah.
Uriah Faber, Chad Mendes, Joseph Benavides, and right now it's like Song Yodong is like
Yeah.
probably the main guy there. So for the guys from like 145 and lower weight classes, it's like the best place to train.
100%. Man, like I've been to a lot of gyms around the world, and this is probably the most like we probably have the most 145, 135 pounders who are actually really good in just one room.
And as the fan, who was your favorite fighter from Alpha Male team to watch?
Like I said, we have so many. Probably my roommate Alex, just like I feel like he's probably one of my favorite fighters to watch out of the team. He's just yeah, it's really good.
And it will be your third fight in this year, but you had a break in 2022.
Yeah.
So was it a planned break, or did something happen in this year?
Um, it's hard to say. I was looking for fights that year. We were kind of just trying to pick and choose on who I wanted to fight that year, but uh, it was mainly just trying to get my wrestling up to par with the other martial arts. I feel like I was lacking wrestling. Um, so I was looking for fights, but not so much as I usually am. I'm kind of just trying to like take a red shirt year and get better.
Yes, and this break was after your the only loss of your career,
Yeah,
and the fight was great with Dorian Ramos, who is also the one of the top prospect right
yeah, for
now.
sure.
But we can see that you really didn't waste any time in this break, and you are better and better every fight we can see you.
100%, 100%. I feel like I've grown immensely after that fight, and just through training and uh, yeah, just building my wrestling up. I feel like was a main part of my fight style.
And overall, do you plan to go to the UFC after the LFA fights in LFA, or do you consider also the Bellator or PFL?
So main goal right now is to get to the UFC. I mean, if I get a chance to go to PFL and they offer me $1 million, I'm not gonna pass that up. But main one is to go to the UFC right now. Yes.
And you are quite a tall fighter for the featherweight. Do you ever plan to go to the lightweight division?
Yeah, I mean, biggest goal right now is 3 division champion the UFC. So I'm hoping get the 45 belt, go down, get the 35 belt, and then bump up, try and get the 55 belt. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
you will be able to go down to bantamweight division.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I feel
Okay,
like it'd be harder to go up than down for me right now.
okay. It's quite interesting because you are, I believe, really tall for the featherweight division. So it will be interesting to see you going to the bantamweight division as well.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I feel like I'd be strong if I go down.
And uh, if you can choose any fighter to have a dream fight with from any division, who do you like to pick?
Oh man, that's a great question. Feel like that. It's a good fight. I feel like Sandhagen would be a really cool fight. If he's still fighting when I get up there, that'd be a really interesting fight. I'd cut down to 35 to fight that guy, but we're both super tricky. Obviously, he has a lot of experience over me, but man, that'd be a really cool fight.
Yes, and many fighters respects him because he's
100%.
like you said, he's very tricky. He's both great on the ground, on his feet. even in his last performance against Ver or even Song Yodong.
Yep.
It was both performances were great, and he's really close to being a champion. So for you, it should be it would be a great challenge.
100%, 100%. Yeah, here my revenge for my boy, my boy
Yes,
Song.
yes, but Song is also very high on the list on the rankings,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
bantamweight division is like super stacked right now.
100%. That's a really good it's a really good weight class. All killers, man.
And about your division, what do you think about Volkanovski against Rodriguez fight? What do you think? Who will win this fight for the undisputed featherweight title?
Look, I'm a very biased person, man. I gotta stick with my boy Alex. Yeah, he is one of my favorite fighters. Just beat my friend Josh, but man, I gotta stay with Alex for this one. He's a lot of people doubt him, and he's always come on top. Yeah, I feel like Alex still can still beat Yair. It's gonna be a tough fight though. Yair, man, his striking is next level, but I feel like Alex can still get this for sure.
Yes, and Yair had this really close fight and a great fight with Max Holloway. It was super
Yep,
close. So he showed that he can put quite maybe not the beating, but really show his skills against like
100%.
top level competition. And Josh Emmett will be fighting Ilia Topuria, so
Yeah,
it will be another great fight, but it will be a good test for both fighters.
100%, 100%. Yeah, they're very exciting fights to watch.
Yes, and it also shows how many great fighters are in alpha male, like Song Yodong, Josh Emmett. It's like from like flyweight to featherweight division is always someone on the
Yep,
top of the rankings.
100%. We have a lot of good guys in our room, man. And I feel super lucky to be able to train with them.
And do you like to watch fights, or you prefer like after the training just do not do anything regarding MMA?
I don't really watch too many fights. I like to watch my friends, obviously. And probably just the bigger fights like the Islam and John Jones and like all the bigger fights. I feel like I would watch more than I don't really watch every weekend.
So I will ask you about return of the Conor McGregor. What do you think about his fight against Michael Chandler? Do you think that he will beat Chandler, or Chandler will use maybe his wrestling to beat Conor?
I feel like it depends on which Michael Chandler we get. He has stayed busier than McGregor, obviously. So that's gonna make a big play in how McGregor's gonna fight. Like we saw from Cejudo, he had a big break, and I feel like if he was fighting consistently, that fight would have been a little different. So it'll be interesting to see how McGregor does with competition, considering how long he's been out for.
Yes, it's always this question mark again next to Conor, because he have this like quite long breaks between his fights, so you never know which
Yeah,
Conor will show up.
it does make a difference being out of competition, and not actually doing that and just training for sure.
And you are a really young fighter right now. And do you like to plan things regarding MMA, like let's say 5-year plan that you want to be in a certain place?
Um, I feel like having an ultimate goal is important, but man, the fighting game is I've learned the fighting game is just this. So I like to just set like different goals every month and try and hit those goals, or have a couple competitions like jiu-jitsu competitions and have like little goals I like to beat, rather than having like a 5 set goal, because man, everything can change. I didn't expect to have a year off, and that happened. And yeah, I prefer like little goals rather than just like I'm gonna do this in the next 5 years, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yes, and we know that your like main goal is to be a free division champion in the
Yep.
UFC.
Yeah. If you can believe it, and you can if you can say it and you can believe it, it can happen for sure. Wise words of McGregor, right?
Yes, yes, and he actually made this happen in 2015. It
100%.
was kind of crazy when he
Yep.
knocked out Jose Aldo.
Yep. For sure.
And also, in last year, you had a combat jiu-jitsu match against Damian Anderson, and few weeks ago, you have a like traditional no gi grappling fight.
Mhm.
So, do you plan to compete in this kind of matches, or this is only just between the fights, just to prove some skills?
I wouldn't say it's more to prove some skills, just like that competition ready mindset, you know what I mean? Like as I said, I like to stay busy. Whether it's MMA or jiu-jitsu, I like to just keep competing. I feel like it's really good for myself, like mentally wise, just being in that competition mindset and um just winning. Winning is contagious, right? So if I keep winning in my jiu-jitsu comps, it makes me a little bit easier to mind it makes it a little bit easier for my mindset to go in more confident in my MMA fights to get my win.
Yes, and the combat jiu-jitsu concept, of course, is not MMA, but it's some kind of similarity because
It's
of the
pretty similar, yeah. Being able to slap a guy is like you're palm striking, really. Like it's almost like I'm hitting you with my fist. I really like that over the jiu-jitsu competition. I feel like I'm gonna do more combat jiu-jitsu too, just in between fights.
yes, and I think that it was a really great performance. It was, of course, a draw, but Damian Anderson is a really good competitor in the
Yeah.
BJJ scene.
Man, he comes from one of the best jiu-jitsu gyms in the world, and he is a high level jiu-jitsu guy. The fact that I didn't get subbed and I lasted that long with him, and I'm super proud. Yeah.
And what do you think is the best thing about being a MMA fighter?
Just the lifestyle, man. You get to travel everywhere. Being able to travel around the world is just a dream, you know. Like I'm not stuck in a cubicle or having to wake up and do a 9 to 5. I can kind of just be my own boss and have my own like training schedule and obviously, like I said, travel. It's the best.
Yes, and when you will be in the UFC, you will be able to travel everywhere.
Hmm.
You are from Australia, so you can fight there, and you are training in the US, so you will be great guy to have on like California card. So
100%.
UFC will be able to use you
Yeah,
properly.
yeah. 100%, 100%.
And
Yeah.
what motivates you to train? Because overall MMA and combat sports are really tough on your body and also on your mind. So it's what is the biggest motivation for you?
Not losing. Having that loss has definitely been a big factor on like keeping me driven. Um Also like I'll try and take like a week off every now and then, or like I'll go home for a couple weeks, and I just don't like not training, man. Like yeah, I think just like um when I do go home I get the hunger. So and I just love this sport so much, you know what I mean?
And before the fight, how do you deal with the stress before competition?
Um, I wouldn't say it's too much stress. I've been competing since I was 8 years old, so it's almost like second nature for me. Obviously you do get like those thoughts in the back of your head, like, oh, what if I lose? What if this happens? I try to just like let it happen and use that energy as like fuel to like motivate me a little bit more. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so experience is like good to have because you know that
100%.
you did it so many times, so
Yeah.
it's no need to be nervous.
No. Well, look, you're gonna get nervous for sure, but I'd rather use that nervous energy into fueling the fire rather than using that energy to be scared, you know what I mean?
And outside of fighting, what do you like to do in your free time? Do you watch some movies, some maybe Netflix series?
Oh, I play a lot of video games, man. I'm a big video game guy. Trying to get into the streaming stuff and just yeah, I love playing video games. Also, every now and then, like every weekend, I'll probably go up to the river as well. Get in like a cold plunge. It's not only good for like my body, but I feel like it's good for the mindset too to have a like a little reset.
And do you have a daily routine, like you have like that you train twice a day, and do you know where to have another things like the dinner?
Yeah. Yeah, I love to be on a schedule. I prefer to have like decent habits, you know what I mean? So like wake up every day 7:30 on the dot. Make sure I have my breakfast in time to go to training. I train at 8:30 or 9:30 every day, depending on what day it is. Go home, I gotta have my lunch straight away. Then I'll play some video games. Then I'll train again. It kind of does vary a little bit on which day and what training session I do. But yeah, I'd like to stick to a pretty good schedule.
And do you have like let's say a life motto, the like one advice that you are that is the most important in your life?
Yeah, so my dad says this a lot. It's on like the hard days, you just get up and dust it off and you just keep on going rather than just letting that speed bump stop you. You know what I mean? Just keep dusting off and keep on going.
Yes, is great advice, because you know that sometimes the like the days will be tough, and you know that
100%.
in the future there will be the better times.
Yeah. 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 I mean, if you tallied down all the bad days around the year and tallied all the good days around the year, you're most likely to have more good days than bad days, for sure.
Yes, and especially when you train with the like very good fighters.
Oh man,
Probably
yeah.
at the beginning you were really like beaten. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I grew up getting beaten up in the gym, you know what I mean? So I've only just started giving it back now, so it's good for sure.
and outside of the MMA, if you have a chance to learn one skill of anything, what do you would you like to learn?
Feel like um would be nice to learn another language. Um it's tough for sure. I've tried, but I feel like I need to double down on that and like learn another language would be cool.
And if you have a chance to train with any fighter in the world, let's say not with from the alpha male, but the fighter who can be in some way inspiration for you, who do you like to train or like taking advice from?
Um Khabib. I feel like Khabib is another one of my favorite fighters, and I feel like if I ever get like some advice from him, it'd probably be him, or being able to like my dream training session would probably be with him for sure.
Yes, it probably would be a really tough training session.
Oh man, it would be super tough, but super beneficial. Yeah. This fight game is it's not just playing around, you know, it's a tough game, so yeah, it'd be worth it for sure.
And after your career, of course, you are a really young fighter, but after your career, what would you like uh, to to be part of, like let's say that would you be interested in doing some creating some business, owning a business, like maybe being a coach in the gym?
I want to do a bunch of things, man. Like I don't want to just get to the end of my career and just have nothing, you know what I mean? I'm not about buying all the fancy things. I'd rather invest all my money smartly and then probably open up a gym back home, maybe a gym back over here, but just having a free lifestyle rather than having to lose all my money from all my fights and then have to work a 9 to 5, you know what I mean? I want to be free.
Yes, it's sometimes happen when in one moment you like win a big prize, and after a year you have nothing. But
Got nothing. Yep.
when you go like step by step, it's easier to like be smart about money.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Super lucky to have the parents I have, so I've been able to uh learn about that for sure. So yeah, I just want to invest my money properly and then have a easier life later on.
And what do you think? How the like younger version of you, like let's say that when you were 10, how would you react regarding that you are right now like top level fighter in both US and then Australia?
I wouldn't believe it. I hated training when I was a kid. Um, yeah, I didn't think I would be where I am now for sure. I thought I was gonna do something completely different. You know what I mean? I thought I was gonna be like a builder with like my dad, but yeah, it's as I said, the life is like this. You know what I mean? Like everything changes for sure.
Yes, like life is full of surprises, but I think that it's good surprises in this
Oh,
case.
it's a great surprise. It's probably best case scenario.
Isaac, so many thanks for this conversation. I hope that you will win your next fight and
Thank you.
that we will be able to see you maybe one or two more times in this year. And I think that this LFA title would be a great thing to accomplish before the
Yeah,
UFC career.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Hopefully, I get these 3 fights done and done this year, and then maybe next year we get another one, another interview going on, and we're talking about me doing my first UFC fight.
Yes, it would
Yeah,
be,
that'd be
it
cool.
would, yes. So many thanks one again and good luck.